Welcome to Medicine Park, Oklahoma, and this is no ordinary small town that is usually featured on this channel, as you can see by me just standing here on this river. It's got a really interesting history. It's got for Oklahoma, a pretty old history, and then kind of a revitalization, you could say, in the more recent decades. So the main street is a little touristy, but we'll walk down the main street. There's a lot of things to see here, so we'll learn about the history, and then we'll see what other things that are old and new are available to check out in Medicine Park, Oklahoma. And that's Medicine Creek, by the way. We're gonna walk up here and turn left down the main street. So Medicine Park is in Comanche County, Oklahoma. It's in the southwest part of the state. We're 14 miles from Lawton in the Wichita Mountains, near the entrance to the 60,000-acre Wichita Mountain Wildlife Refuge. Medicine Park has a long history as a vintage cobblestone resort town. Many of the original structures are constructed of naturally formed cobblestones. Red granite cobblestones are unique to the Wichita Mountains. Medicine Park was founded on July 4th, 1908 by Elmer Thomas, who's a lawyer who had just become a member of the Oklahoma State Senate. He eventually became a U.S. Senator. In the spring of 1906, 5 years after the establishment of the Wichita Mountains National Forest, Thomas envisioned the need not only for a recreational area but for a permanent water source from the newly founded city of Lawton. When the resort first opened, it consisted merely of a large surplus army tent with wooden floors where hot meals were served. 2 dams were constructed on Medicine Creek to form Bath Lake swimming hole, and a limited number of campsites were constructed. Tourists came to Medicine Park from all around Oklahoma and North Texas. Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys became regulars at the dance hall from 1929 through the late 1930s. Soon, numerous other famous bands of the day made their way through Medicine Park en route to big city venues in Oklahoma City, Dallas, and Fort Worth. The nearby Wichita Mountains Wildlife Refuge in Lake Lawtonka attracted thousands of people each weekend throughout the seasons. Medicine Park became the playground for the state's rich, famous, and notorious. Outlaws and horse thieves mixed with politicians, businessmen, and soldiers in the new cobblestone community. The pages of the town's history is filled with such figures as Will Rogers, Al Capone, Bonnie and Clyde, Roy Rogers, and Dale Evans. When Thomas was elected senator in 1926, he sold the park to a corporation, and the park started a decline that lasted through the 1960s. It was then incorporated in 1969. At the turn of the 21st century, it was being revitalized. New municipality infrastructure, preservation products, and additional business improved the community. As you look at the population, you can see when it was incorporated, 483 dropped off a little bit while they were kind of restructuring the town, and then it has started to increase up to 411 in the last census. So that was the Main Street area, and just right off the Main Street to the left, we've been going along the creek here. We'll go down and check out the area that was probably the most popular, where people would go down and bathe in the medicinal qualities of the creek. And this was known by the Plains Indian residents way back in the day. And so Thomas named it the Medicine Park Summer Resort and Health Spa. He actually opened the post office here in 1908. So a pretty cool little walk across on the bridge. There's a couple bridges. There's another one down there we'll check out later in the video. So there were 16 rental cabins built here. Then they had concessions, they had a slide at the lake. They eventually had electric power, telephone service, and then they would have about 200,000 visitors annually. Then there started being more permanent residences, and then a school was built. They had a fish hatchery built in 1915, and then by 1922 they had a Baird sanatorium and a health clinic. They had an Easter pageant that was held in the park, and then eventually moved to the Holy City of the Wichitas in 1935, which that's another place that's pretty fascinating to go check out. As you can see, it's a real nice walk along the creek. They have a little trail there and a little statue of Charlie Wright, who came up with the idea for that creek walk.
It's very peaceful. Really enjoyed exploring all around. And they have some Christmas themed areas, and I've heard this is a good place to take a polar plunge if you're interested in something like that. You can send your mail off to the North Pole. It's a cool little map here of the Wichita Mountains and all the different places that you can hike. So the website Expedia in 2018 named Medicine Park one of the 5 prettiest towns in the entire United States. So I'm going to walk kind of up the main street a little bit farther up the hill. There's a bunch of trails around the lake, and it's been rated one of the best mountain bike trails in all of Oklahoma. So I wanted to walk up this way and show you how there's these old cobblestone foundations, and some of them have been turned into housing in more recent years. So you can see this one still has some of the walls, but a lot of it's gone. And it's been kind of fenced off because they're probably wanting to preserve it to hopefully revitalize it someday. You can see how this house has done that. And there's the old dance hall. It's now an event center, and I mentioned how Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys were regulars here. A lot of famous musicians came through this area. So earlier, when I was on the one bridge, I said there's another bridge down the way, and so we'll take a little nice walk. And it's a very walkable town. There's a few hills here and there, but it's kind of down in the valley, so it's easy to stroll around and check things out. So very peaceful. Something that you can visit that I did not go into today was the aquarium here at Medicine Park. It's the Aquarium and Natural Sciences Center that opened in 2017 as an educational and ecotourism attraction in southwestern Oklahoma features more than 90 species of fish, reptiles, amphibians, birds, and mammals from around the world. Also includes a 6-acre botanical garden with native Oklahoma plants and butterfly-friendly landscaping. So the aquarium is open daily from 10 to 5. Definitely something I would have liked to have checked out if I had a little more time this day.
What a cool place Medicine Park, Oklahoma is. It's way back there behind me. I thought I would come up here and see the big lake, Lawtonka Lake, I think it is. And then that's Medicine Creek or Medicine River there behind us. And yeah, so it's really cool when a place is able to kind of be revitalized and still able to tell the story of their past. And Medicine Park has done that really well. There's certainly some touristy places, but you kind of have to probably to survive in a place like this. You can see why people would come here 100 years ago and hang out. And it's unfortunate that it lost its luster at some point, but glad that it's still here. And there are tourists today. Hopefully there'll be more and more coming, and they can continue to build structures that are in the theme with the history of Medicine Park. So really cool place, a little bit off the beaten path, but not so much if you're down near Lawton, Oklahoma. Highly recommended to come check it out.
I'm going to leave you with a couple minutes of just driving footage around town. I can imagine this would be a popular place for motorcycle enthusiasts, as they have a Harley-Davidson store here in town. But even if you don't own a motorcycle like myself, just driving around is really beautiful, pretty unique place, and definitely an enjoyable Sunday type drive.